What's up, guys? Quinn Henoch here. Got another case study to discuss with you. A 30-year-old male came to my office this week with reports of left shoulder pain while bench pressing and overhead pressing. He's a recreational strength athlete of 5+ years and would like to compete in powerlifting at some point in the near future. So the pain started about 1.5 years ago, and it started during a phase in which he was performing high volumes of bench pressing. The pain is located in the front, kind of side, lateral of the left shoulder, and occurs at the bottom of the bench press, and then that first third of the overhead press is when he feels those symptoms. So we spent several months just kind of training around it, which meant take enough time off for the pain to go away completely and then train like normal until the pain returned. And it was running through that cycle for about 6 months, and then finally took 6 months completely off until about 3 weeks ago, in which he tried to reintroduce bench press, was able to perform a narrow grip bench press up to 135 with no pain, but his normal grip recreated the symptoms with 135 pounds even after 6 months off. So obviously there's some frustration there. What we looked at, first of all, range of motion was pretty much normal. Passive range of motion, all within normal limits in all planes. Active range of motion, very similar. I was able to kind of crank him into the Hawkins-Kennedy test and recreate some symptoms there. Resistance testing, inflection, and abduction recreated some symptoms. But then we really started to look at strength from side to side, and we tested that a few ways, one of which was a sideline external rotation with a 10-pound dumbbell. So what I had him do was 10 reps at a 2 up, 2 down tempo, and then after rep number 10, a 30-second hold. So that was all one set. He was able to perform it on the right. On the left, wasn't even able to complete the 10 reps, so let alone hold for 30 seconds. So couldn't even get to 10 there. So a big difference from side to side. And then we did single arm kettlebell pressing with a 20-pound kettlebell. On the right, he got 10 reps at like a 5 RPE. It was no problem. On the left, he was able to get all 10 reps, but at like an 8 RPE, so much more difficult. And then we did an exercise that is basically a band-resisted isometric abduction. And I say abduction, but it's a self-selected angle. And I took that from a Chris Littlewood article in 2015, in which for rotator cuff tendinopathy, he had the participants basically do band-resisted abduction, but if it was more comfortable to go straight out to the side, that's what they did. If it was more comfortable to go almost in flexion, that's what they did. And then anything in between. So he was kind of like at a scaption, somewhere in that 45-degree angle. At about 80 degrees, we did isometric holds. 3 sets of 45-second holds. Was able to complete on both sides, but on the left, started to kind of get pulled down. After about 30 seconds, he couldn't hold that 80 to 90 degree angle. So, and some capacity difference there as well. And then we bench pressed. We worked up to light loads, 20 kilos, 30 kilos, 35 kilos, 3-second tempo up and down. He had symptoms with maybe 10% of the reps, but was able to kind of self-correct his shoulder blade position and really pack it down through the entirety of the movement, and then that cleared the symptoms. So there's a positional intolerance, there's a load intolerance, but that's basically his home exercise program, is the 3 exercises that we did, and then starting to grade the exposure back into bench pressing. And if we hit an intensity threshold in which he can't control position and it's simply too heavy for his tissues to tolerate, then we'll dial the intensities back down and just kind of build volume there. So that's how we're going to manage that case going forward. I'm posting these cases on my YouTube channel and also in the Clinical Athlete forum for further discussion. Thanks, guys.